Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Greg Olson. I'm a Regional Vice President with Michaels Development, and I'd like to welcome you to the grand opening of Park Station. Finally. This is a mixed income, mixed use, 58-unit development that you'll see rise on this ground behind us. It's for Woodlawn residents. It's the first development on city land since the passage of the Woodlawn Housing Preservation Ordinance in 2020, I believe. Before we get started today, I'd just like to mention some of the people who worked on the project and who may not be recognized today. Andrea Keeney from Michaels Development, who closed the project. Our DL3 Development Partnership team, Leon and Tanya Karakia, Leon Walker. Our architecture team who's here today, Fitzgerald Associates, Brook Architecture, the general contractor, Ujama, Brown & Moman Joint Venture, Graham Grady from Taft, who is our land use attorney, Applegate and Thorne Thompson Bennett's here, who closed the project. Our community partner, Sunshine Enterprises. The lenders who financed the project, BMO Harris, thank you, I see you're here today. Berkadia and ComEd Affordable Housing New Construction Program. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the City of Chicago because they really made this project happen, from land to financing to permits to you name it. It's Department of Housing, the Department of Planning and Development, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor. Thank you very much. And really appreciate your support. And special shout out on the DOH side to Anna Booth, who helped close the project. I don't think she's here today, but she did a great job. Before we start today, some real simple ground rules. Keep it short and sweet, speakers. We'd like to keep things moving. And we're going to ask each speaker to introduce the next speaker, just so we don't have to keep on coming up and down. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our community partner from Woodlawn, Sunshine Enterprises, BJ Stewart. BJ.
Good morning. Good morning. Greetings to Mayor Lightfoot, Alderwoman Taylor, our partners DL3 and Michaels, and my fellow community members and colleagues. I am humbled to represent Sunshine Enterprises as the nonprofit partner for Park Station. We're excited to be a key stakeholder and community member in a development that not only provides much needed affordable housing, but also brings resources that unlock and empower a tremendous force to community transformation. And that's entrepreneurship and small business ownership. Aspiring entrepreneurs and small business owners in under-resourced communities face three gaps, and these gaps can inhibit and even prohibit their growth and sustainability. First, there's a relationship gap. These entrepreneurs don't have the resource and relationships they need to garner the resources that they need. Second, there's a knowledge and information gap. There's a recent Forbes survey that indicated that 70% of small business owners in under-resourced communities lack the business acumen to deal effectively with the issues they face every day. And third, and maybe most commonly, there's a financial gap. That same Forbes survey indicated that 60% of small business owners in under-resourced communities lack the capital that they need. Sunshine Enterprises helped entrepreneurs in under-resourced communities to start and grow their enterprises and build their communities. We close those gaps that I mentioned by building social capital, knowledge capital, and financial capital. At the completed Park Station Lofts development, Sunshine will host our Community Business Academy, supporting micro-enterprise startups and early-stage enterprises. We'll also provide our business acceleration services, bringing additional training, coaching, and mentorship. And we'll provide our credit to capital program to better connect these entrepreneurs and small business owners to the financial resources they sorely need. Thriving businesses lead to thriving communities. My team and myself at Sunshine Enterprises can't wait for the doors of Park Station to open, providing an additional launch pad for small businesses right here in Woodlawn at 63rd and Maryland. So I'd like to introduce now Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor.
Good morning, Woodlawn. Whew. It's a long time coming, ain't it, y'all? So good morning, I'm Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor, and I have the pleasure of representing the 20th Ward. Today is a bittersweet day for me because this will be my first affordable housing project. And so I'm a little in my feelings today because it took us a long time to get here. First, I want to thank the community members in Woodlawn. Thank you all for coming together. We had homeowners, renters, community organizations, church. Too often they use us to fight against each other, and so this was the first time that we got to see us actually work together and look at the finished product, and so I'm very proud of what is happening today. To Leon Walker and DL3 and to Michaels, thank you. 2 years. 2 years of sitting at a table, 2 years of fighting, because we did a lot of fighting, y'all. 2 years of really trying to figure it out and just saying that we got the political will to ask for what we want. To the community development team, some of my members are here. I see you, Marcus. Thank you all for putting in your time and effort to make sure to see this happen. Too often we talk about what we can't do, and this is what you see today, what we can do when we work together. To Commissioner Cox, to Commissioner Navarro, and to the mayor, we had our days, didn't we? I didn't know if I was gonna come out of this like any of y'all, because this was hard. This was not easy, but it was so worth it, because you think about it now, people who want to come back and move to Woodlawn now have a choice. This ain't just about low-income housing. This is about housing for everybody. This will actually be a mixed use, and so I'm so proud of this. Last but not least, to the folks who've been working for and fighting for the Woodlawn Housing Ordinance, thank you. Too often people don't see that our community organizations, they write the ordinance, they give us the examples, and then they help us fight for it. And we forget about the little folks. Not today. I see you, Ms. Jean. Not today. I see you, Quandra. I just want to say thank you. And I'm next going to introduce the person who I've had to fight for the last 3 years, Leon Walker.
Good morning, Woodlawn. Southside strong. Southside strong. All right, come on. Thank you, Alderman Taylor. What a proud day. What a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I can remember taking the train at 63rd and Stony Island when it was an elevated track. Going downtown with my mom to shop. Now, I wasn't excited about going downtown to shop, but I was excited about going to Marshall Fields and getting some pot pie. Let me say this. I want to quickly thank you, Greg. Thank you for making all those thank yous. There's so many people to thank on this project. Thank my wife, who's sitting right in front of me, Ryan Walker, for her continued support. We all stand up here because there's others that are standing behind and with us, trust me. My entire team at DL3 Realty worked tirelessly. Ryan, Tanya, amazing work. Alex, great. So many on our team that have put into this. Andrea and Greg, thank you for your partnership from Michaels. It really means a lot to come together as a JV. One of the things I noticed, we're sitting over here, just about everybody is from the University of Michigan. Go Blue. I've even got my undercover scarf. That's amazing blue scarf if you didn't know. But Greg Olson and I were freshmen in college together in the same dorm. And for us to come back together to build this project in a neighborhood that I've known so well, I know the alleys in this neighborhood, is incredibly personal and special for me. And he's been a stand-up, great partner who not only leads with his heart, but his mind is so sharp, and he helps us get this project done in an efficient way. Thank you to our commissioners again. Commissioner Marissa Navarro and Commissioner Cox, they leaned in on this. But I'm gonna just take a moment if I can. I gotta tell you some good things that our mayor has done. Our mayor has elevated it beyond politics to make investments in these communities that really matter. This is an investment in a housing project in Woodlawn that's going to lead a catalytic renaissance in this community. She's doing this all over. If you didn't know, the number is now up to $2 billion being invested in our neighborhoods. That's more than the last 3 administrations combined. This is significant, significant work, and it needs to be recognized. We need to recognize it because it's catalytic. Does it take a little time? Hey, you see these shovels in the ground. We're on a real construction site today, right? This is a real construction site. And I got to give it up to our partners at Ujamaa and Brown Moment, Jimmy and Ernest. I'm going to tell you, there's something significant here. Not only is this one of the first projects to ever have a black developer in the leading role on a 9% tax credit project, but to also team with a black prime GC. We don't see that. So this is a new day in Chicago in many ways. But let me just also say that the leaders that you see, we're all important, that we're all signing things, and that's important. But this job also has black PE, PM, and superintendent managing the construction of this project, all from the south side of Chicago. That's what this is about. Yes, we're excited about the families that will be living here in a quality luxury building. Come on, we got yoga studios and stretch rooms and rooftops. I mean, this is quite an amazing project, but it'll be affordable to all of Woodlawn's residents. So thank all of you for your support. I want to bring our mayor up, give her a warm reception. She deserves it. Great work, Mayor. Let's go.
Let me begin by also giving Leon his due. This is a man who works tirelessly for black communities in Chicago. And all of the people that are joining, from the construction to the project managers, all that list, that's because of what Leon has done. And he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for the work that he does, that is making changes in monumental ways, building wealth across a lot of different companies and businesses. Leon, thank you. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Alderwoman Taylor. Yeah, we wrestled several times trying to make this right, but we knew we had to get it right. And part of the reason we need to get this right is, some of you have heard me say this before, one of the first community meetings that I held upon becoming mayor was at the South Shore Country Club, with a table that had been set long before I came on the scene, with people who were worried about what was going to happen with the Obama Presidential Center coming. We're worried about whether or not longtime residents would get priced out of the market. Land speculation started the minute that the announcement happened, and there was a lot of concern and a lot of fear. So we had to roll up our sleeves, listen first, and make sure that we came forward with community-featured recommendations to make sure that we were going to right historic wrongs, but we were also going to address the immediate concern of longtime residents in Woodlawn, homeowners and renters alike. And the hard work that was done, and I got to give credit to Commissioner Navarro in particular, making sure that we got this ordinance right. That is the work that we have tried to do all across the city, but particularly in neighborhoods that have been resource starved, that have heard the talk, that have had people come, had people go, but not deliver. That's not who we are. We're standing here today because we have listened to the community. We have made sure that the work that we have done reflects the lived experience of people in this community, and we are here to deliver the first of many projects that are going to come to the benefit of the people in Woodlawn, and I'm extraordinarily proud of that. So I don't need to talk long, but I do want to talk about some of the amenities in this development. Because you know what? People in Woodlawn deserve the same kind of nice amenities, luxury amenities that we take for granted in other parts of the city. So this is a mixed income, mixed use, affordable living community, occupying city-owned land. This development will hold 58 apartments, 41 of which will serve households earning between 30% and 60% of the area median income, as well as 17 market rate units. And these apartments would be offered in 1 to 3 bedrooms. Why is that important? Because what we saw when we started in this administration is affordability meant studios or 1 bedrooms. Affordability has got to mean we can accommodate all kinds of family types. And having the 3 bedrooms is critically important to make sure that our families have a place to go that they can afford. Not one-offs, not singles, but families. And that's what makes this development, I think, all the more important and special. The first floor of this building will include 3,400 square feet of retail space, workspaces, and community amenities. Again, standard fare on the north side, in the West Loop, in the River North area, but something that we also must bring to the south side. Our buildings must have amenities. The building residents must be able to go down an elevator and get their needs met. That's why these amenities on the first floor are certainly so important. And let me also just say, I am proud that we are also working in conjunction with Sunshine Enterprises. Joel and the team, you guys have done the Lord's work on the south side for so long, and the partnering up, the work that you've done in this facility, I think it will be, again, a game changer, and we look forward to continuing to support the work. And let's not forget that this is a transit-oriented development located just 350 feet from the Cottage Grove Green Line station. That is also important because folks that don't own cars, that don't need to have that kind of transportation can be able to walk, but also have a great amenity right nearby. This keeps the area affordable for our residents and could potentially save tenants of Park Station Lofts thousands of dollars in yearly transportation costs. Additionally, this development, we are making streetscaping enhancements to improve the walkability of 63rd Street. So the work is not just about the vertical construction, right? Invest Southwest is not just that. It is also about what we're doing at the ground level, working with community, streetscapes, creating green spaces. That is also the important investment that the city will continue to make in communities on the south and the west side, and Woodlawn is going to be the beneficiary of that. When it's all said and done, this project will create 280 temporary construction jobs, 12 new construction positions, with a priority being placed on hiring Woodlawn residents. And so for all of these reasons, we were happy as a city to support this $35 million development with $30 million in city funding. That's when we make a difference. When we put our money where our mouth is, when we live our values by making concrete, tangible investments, things happen. And we support communities, and we will continue to do that. So Jimmy, we are placing in your able hands and your team a lot of hope and aspirations for the family that will be living in this facility, and all the other folks that are going to be contributing to making sure that this construction rises in a way that is consistent with the community values. I just want to say we thank you. We want to make sure that this is a success, and success to me is defined by families living here, thriving here, and being able to continue to make Woodlawn the strong, vibrant community that it is. And it's my pleasure to be here with you this morning and to say thank you to so many. Thank you to Alderwoman Taylor. Thank you to Commissioner Cox and Commissioner Navarro. Thanks to the DL3 team, the Michaels organization, and of course, Sunshine. It's a glorious day in Woodlawn, and we should all be pleased. And let me invite up Commissioner Cox to say a few words as well. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Don't you just love seeing the future of a neighborhood under construction? This is awesome. And it's exciting because it's a part of what I see is the miracle on 63rd Street and the creation of Woodlawn's Main Street, and all neighborhoods need one. So Park Station Lofts is much, much, much more than 58 units with some shops on the ground floor. What you are seeing is a very intentional strategy to rebuild neighborhoods, not according to some theory, but according to what neighborhoods have asked for. So, for example, in the Consolidated Woodlawn Plan, the community had identified 63rd Street as their main street, and they specifically wanted it to be mixed use, mixed income, serving the local community. So I see Park Station Lofts as the first foundation building in that vision. I would also say, secondly, the strategy is addressing what we call the missing middle density. So this gives families options. It's not single family detached, it's not high rise. It's that in the middle that provides the kind of units that families and families with children can live near amenities that their children can walk to. And you just think about it. We're close to the CTA station. They will be close to the new Coleman Branch Library on 63rd and Cottage. They will be close to neighborhood shops and other neighborhood amenities. So as we go forward, you will see this turn into a genuinely 15-minute neighborhood. That means you can walk from your home to a host of amenities within a 15-minute walk. That's what's emerging here with Park Station Lofts. So I would also just want to highlight that the strategy is very, very different than you see downtown, where you heard about the mega projects. Here we are talking about walkable districts. We're talking about infilling the gaps between buildings, and we're talking about building this neighborhood over time, because building neighborhoods takes time. So with this project, you're seeing a very intentional strategy that's playing itself out not just here, but across all of the neighborhoods of the Invest Southwest. I'm thrilled that DL3 answered the call when we asked them to move the building so that it would be closer to the train station. I'm thrilled that they brought in Sunshine Enterprise so that we could anchor all of those retail spaces with locally owned Black talent. I am thankful, and I'm thankful to Alderman Taylor, who is always willing to get into good trouble and keep people honest. And I just thank you for your vision. You saw what was happening to the neighborhood. You held everyone accountable, and here we are today to celebrate it. So thank you. And I will have to, my last shout out is to my favorite commissioner, Commissioner Marisa Navarra, because of her amazing capacity to stay the course and make sure that Chicago emerges as a more equitable community with affordable housing everywhere. So this is your victory today, and I want to invite you to come celebrate.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, Alderwoman Taylor, and the Park Station Lofts team. So my parents had 3 daughters, and recently we were all together with my mom, and somebody asked her, "Mom, which one is your favorite daughter?" And she wisely said, "Who's ever in front of me in that moment." Like my mom, I don't have favorite projects, but this one is really, really special to me, and for reasons you have heard about. There's a lot to celebrate. This project in particular, though, is the first project to live out the goals of the Woodlawn Preservation Ordinance, and that's a really, really big deal. I'm really proud of that work that went into passing that ordinance, but more importantly to coming up with what was in it, because it was something that we did very proactively with community, with Alderwoman Taylor, who, yes, is a very tough taskmaster, but we got it done. And it's a proactive plan to provide anyone who lives in Woodlawn now the ability to stay affordably and to create options for new residents and new businesses so that this neighborhood continues to thrive and grow. And this is the first down payment, right, on that promise, which is to say, in this building, you will see units at very deep levels of affordability, levels that we normally only see when the Chicago Housing Authority, for instance, gets into a development. To give a little detail, that means households making about $31,000 for a family of 4. We have a hard time meeting that level normally without some deep subsidies, and we're doing it here, and I really want to commend this team for getting there. And I really want to dig in just a moment on this partnership between Greg and Leon. And it's also, just by the way, a lovely day to be a Wolverine, because the mayor and I didn't share their freshman connection necessarily, but we are all proud to share that background. And I want to say this, for those of you in the room who develop affordable housing, who remembers how painful the learning curve was on your first low-income housing tax credit deal? Painful. I can speak from experience. So what we saw here was exactly the kind of progression that we want to see and that we want to support, which is we have a Black developer. Leon and I knew each other before he had ever done his first low-income housing tax credit deal, and before I was in this role. I didn't know that was on your bucket list, was to move into this line of work. But knowing that the learning curve, right, partners with Michaels, moves this forward, hires Tanya Kadakia, and now on the next development that he's doing, which we are funding in Englewood, he's on his own, earning his full developer fee and rocking and rolling. So that is exactly what we want to see and what we want to support. So I want to applaud both of you for that. And as he noted, also to congratulate Ujamaa and Brown and Moman, because that's also exactly what we want to see and what we want to support. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to Sunshine Enterprises, and really for this partnership and the leadership that we see today. I also want to mention, and thank you for doing so, Anna Booth, who I texted this morning. She's on the Department of Housing staff. I texted this morning to say, well, I see you. And she, as often she does, she said, no, I'm working on closing the next deal. I can't be there. But Anna is one of the best in the biz, and I want to honor her work, even though she could not be here today. But I do see some, yes, thank you. I do see some other Department of Housing faithfuls, Ugo, Jim, Danielle, yes, who all worked to make this deal happen. And we all believe in it. We're all very excited about it. And I look forward to continuing to work together in partnership in the weeks and months ahead. Leon?
Yes. We're getting ready now for the groundbreaking formal ceremony, but before we get started, I just want to recognize Commissioner Navarro one more time. She's here with a smile on her face, even though it's a tough time for her personally and her family. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed by this with the passing recently of your mom. So sorry to hear that. But our prayers are with you and your family. But that just goes to show you the level of commitment and dedication that it takes to make these kind of projects happen. Your support. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. That's above and beyond. Can we all agree to that? Okay. That's above and beyond. And she was out yesterday too, so I gotta start drinking the coffee she's drinking. But you know, thank you all for your support. This has been special. It's been meaningful for us. It's encouraging, and we're gonna keep on doing the good work. Teamwork makes the dream work.
And on three, we're going to do a little toss, okay? All right. 1, 2, 3, then toss.